Hey guys, this is Sarah, and this is the Drawing Animals video if you cannot make it to the live class. And as usual, remember just to pause the video at any time if you need to catch up. So we'll get started. All you need is a blank paper, pencil, and eraser, and coloring materials are always optional. So today we are drawing a hamster, and this hamster is just very big fluff ball and just very round, and I'll be going more into detail on how to draw fur and fluff at the end. So very lightly, again, the tip, just hold your pencil near the top so you're just barely touching the paper. I'm just drawing this line coming down the paper because this will just help us make everything symmetrical. So once I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and just draw this kind of chubby egg shape. And that will be the body of our hamster. So this line just helps me make sure it's not lopsided and it's pretty even, because this hamster is facing front. And again, make sure it's round and chubby, because hamsters are just big fluff balls and just very round. So now we're gonna go ahead and just draw a line going in half of that egg shape. And I'm just drawing a circle, which will represent the head, and just ends where that line is. And it starts at the top of that egg shape. Again, very round. And just remember to draw lightly because a lot of these lines will be erasing later. Now we're gonna draw a line in half of that head. Again, just remember to pause at any time if you need to catch up. So now I'm going to draw another egg, kind of where the center of that head is. Again, it's very fat and round. And then inside that egg, we're going to draw those two circles. Again, it kind of looks weird, like a butt shape, but again, we're going to be erasing. So I'm going to just, right now, just erase kind of that top of that kind of shape we drew, because this will be the mouth area. And now we can draw in a rounded triangle, so just a triangular shape, but there's no corners. It's kind of rounded out. That's the basic nose shape. So now, once you have that, we can just draw in a little U, or just a curve kind of connecting those two cheeks for the hamster. This can represent the mouth or the tongue, kind of just depends on the shape. And next we can go ahead and draw in the ears. The ears are pretty close together, so you want to leave some space between that very middle line, and I'm just drawing kind of like a horseshoe shape almost, or an upside down U, because it kind of curves in a little bit, so it's like an unfinished oval. And I'm just doing that on both sides. And they're pretty close together. Again, they're not very circular, they're kind of tall, because hamsters' ears are kind of just tall. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drawing kind of a curved line separating the ear and the outside, because there's sort of part of that skin showing on that ear. So it's kind of divided with that curved line there. And next, we're going to go ahead and draw in the eyes. So for these eyes, they are pretty far apart. They kind of just start where the sides of the cheeks are. So these are kind of circular shapes, a mix between a circle and an oval, pretty round as of course. But you want to make sure they're not too far apart, because this is just a front-facing view. And another thing you can do is add just a circle in the eye to represent that shine, and then just sort of just shade that in. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and kind of fix up this mouth area. So because we erased the tops of those cheeks. If you haven't done that, you can do so now. I'm gonna just erase the top and then kind of redraw it by kind of having these cheeks go up towards the eyes here. And again, you want to draw very lightly. Don't make it go too far up, just kind of going out so it's not just two round circles. And once you have that, we can go ahead and draw in the hands. So the hands, again, symmetrical on both sides of that line. They're kind of like a rounded square. So what I mean by that is that the corners aren't sharp. It's pretty rounded here on the corners. And it's kind of like a square rectangle shape because the hands are kind of just like fisted together and it's holding something. You can really choose what you want it to hold at the end, but for now we're kind of just drawing these two shapes, then just drawing 2 to 3 lines starting from the inside, kind of just going part way to the sides. Those represents the fingers. Next thing we want to do is draw in the arms. So just starting on the top of our hand, we're just drawing a very short curved line. Again, you only want it to go a little bit out. And then on the bottom of that hand, we're drawing a curved line. Again, very short, because the arms kind of just blend into the rest of the body because it's just a fluff ball. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, starting from the top, this short curved line, then on the bottom, a short curved line. And as you can tell, the arms are very fat and wide. And those are just the basic shapes for the arms. Again, not very long. They just blend in to the rest of the fluffy body. For the feet, they're very small. They're just squashed by this huge fluff ball. I'm just going to be drawing 2 sort of block rectangle rounded shapes and just drawing 2 lines to represent the toes. So the basic shape is very simple, but once we add the fur, it looks less like a potato or an egg, more like a hamster. So now, once you have these features, we can go ahead and start erasing. And I did go quite fast, but as usual, definitely remember to pause and stop the video to catch up. So first, we just want to erase those guidelines we drew. Again, do not worry if you accidentally erase something you didn't mean to, because we can just draw that back in again once we're done erasing. I'm erasing that line in half, as well as those lines coming across as well. So across that face there, we don't need that. Those guidelines, as well as those lines inside the ear here. And then I'm gonna kind of clean up the face because I did make it very sketchy. So I'm gonna kind of clean that part up. So I'm gonna slightly erase it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just draw in those lines back that I didn't mean to erase. So that includes those ears that I didn't mean to erase, as well as part of that body, that big fluffy body here. And I'm just getting that general shape again. You want to make sure everything's round. Hamsters are just very chubby and round. They don't have any sharp corners or anything. So again, just drawing in that very plump face again. As we can see. And now, once you have this basic shape, we can go ahead and start drawing in some of those fluff or furry elements of this hamster. Again, kind of just looks like an egg still, but something we can do. Let's first add in some whiskers. The whiskers start near the tops of the cheeks. Just lightly draw some curved lines coming out. Very lightly, as you can tell. They kind of fade out like that. And then I'm just gonna lightly shade in that nose, as well as that mouth if you want to. So if you want to, you can add some lines some curved lines kind of around the eyes to make it cuter if you want. And then we can start adding our fur. So fur is really important to make kind of animals more realistic because it's not just a smooth egg. The tip or the way to draw fur, you don't want to draw that all around the body because that looks very messy and unnatural. We're just going to choose a few areas to draw some fur, and that just gives the illusion that it's fluffy without having to draw it all over. So just starting on the side, very, very lightly, barely touching the paper, we're drawing short curved lines. So I'm going to kind of start on the top side of that body, very lightly draw some curved short lines coming out. And then you don't want to do it all over, just a few areas. I'm going to go a little down, short curved lines, very lightly drawing it, doing it on this side as well. Again, same process, the short curved lines. You can really choose where you want to do it. You can do it on the ears, as long as it's not everywhere. So now it looks a lot more fluffy. Do it inside the ears as well. Same process. All you really need to know, you just want to draw those short curved lines very lightly, kind of just around certain areas. I'm gonna do some on the cheeks as well, kind of on the face area. You can kind of do it on the tummy, just very short curved lines, very lightly, all around. And again, you can really choose where you want the fur to be. I'm gonna kind of fix those lines underneath the eyes really quick. And then you can have it in a hamster ball if you have enough space, or you can just draw on a flat surface. I'm gonna go over how to draw shadows later in the next class, but for now, if you want to, you can just draw a very skinny oval on the bottom and just shade that in, but you don't have to because I will be going over the shadows in the next class. But now we have our fluffy hamster. As you remember how to draw fur, just the short curved lines. Again, you can name this hamster whatever you want. This is your pet now. I'm naming it Mochi. You can add accessories to it, maybe a mohawk like one student suggested. Have it hold a seed, a magic wand, a phone. Because my hamster, I named it Mochi. I'm gonna just do like sort of like a mochi ball or a mochi stick. And you can have it hold whatever you want it because this is your hamster now. So definitely send me photos of your hamsters. I love seeing all your drawings and they are all on the gallery. So thank you for tuning in and I will see you all next week.